Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to First Center Religious Science here in New York City. This is the community that Louise Hay received her education. We've been called the Church of Barker. We have a gathering tonight and every Thursday night based on the book, You Can Heal Your Life. Most of you, I presume, have this book. It's sold, millions upon millions of copies throughout the world. And I presume that most of you are here because you know of Louise Hay or you have benefited from her teachings. I want to welcome all you on Zoom. We're really pleased and grateful for the turnout we're getting. Hundreds of people are signing on every week on our different platforms. And some of you will be watching our lesson tonight throughout the week. I want you to know that we get your feedback. We can't answer everybody, but it's really nice to hear the positive feedback. A few of you become financial supporters, and that's always wonderful also. We're doing important work. We're learning to, transform a community that used to be in the heart of New York City, now to the world. And that happened because COVID happened, and we knew that the trend with spiritual communities, we knew it was going to be virtual anyway, but COVID certainly made that all happen a lot faster. So I'm thrilled to get to know some of you as we are, and Jimmy and I interact with you every week. If we can help you in any way, give us a call. Generally, we're here most afternoons, and Jimmy's happy to talk with you, or you can make an appointment, and I'm usually able to fit anyone in who needs to have a chat. So let's talk about Louise Hay. First of all, who was she? Well, she was first and foremost a practitioner of our teaching. She was here and she worked with her own set of clients, and she went out and she worked with them, and she listened to them, and she listened to the challenges they were having, the problems, the illnesses, and she kept a notebook of what she thought the probable cause was for any given situation. And she would have and she wrote down affirmations, which she suggested for the person to bring about improvements, to bring about healing. That was in her little blue book, and her work there became the foundation of the book, You Can Heal Your Life, which I already showed you the copy. I'll show it to you again, which became an international bestseller. Louise did an awful lot to make the world aware of New Thought. New Thought actually has been around for many hundreds of years. In New Thought, we learned to take the mystic's approach to life, which, let me simply say, if you're developing this kind of consciousness, you're looking to see the good. You're looking to see the good in yourself, and you're looking to see the good in others. And what you begin to develop is a consciousness and an idea that there's one spirit, there's one energy, and that energy is in you, it operates through you. And once you learn how to use that energy, you can heal your life. I'm going to read one of the little meditations that Louise has in her book. It's very brief, so you might take a deep breath, and relax. You've all heard it before, or most of you have. If you're new, it helps us relax. So let's go with it. Deep at the center of our being, there's an infinite well of love. We breathe in now, and we allow this love to flow to the surface. Allow it to fill our heart, our bodies, our minds. It fills our consciousness, our very being, and it radiates out in all directions And you know that it's doing that within you. It's radiating out, and it comes back to you. This infinite love comes back to you multiplied. And we know the more love that we use and give and bring into the world, that there's more to give, because the supply is endless. The use of love, you might say to yourself, makes me feel good. It's an expression of my inner joy. I love myself, therefore I take loving care of my body. I get exercise, I feed myself nourishing foods and beverages. I lovingly put myself together and groom myself and dress myself. And my body lovingly responds to this nurturing with vibrant health and energy. I love myself, therefore I provide a place to live, a comfortable apartment or home, a place that fills my needs and is a pleasure for me to be living in. And I fill my space, whatever it is, with the vibration of love, so that whoever comes over or visits, myself most of all, myself included, will feel this love and be nurtured by it. So I intentionally look around my environment, and I send love, and I feel it, and I send it, and I sense it. And in my day-to-day living, whether we're volunteering or we're working or we're engaged in anything, we work or we spend our time doing things that we truly enjoy, that we use our creative abilities and talents, and we work with people that we care for, people that care for us, and we earn a good living, or we know that we're supplied and supported in the things we do. I love myself, therefore I behave and I think in a loving way to all people. For I know that which I give out comes back to me multiplied. I release the need to be critical of myself when I make mistakes, because I know I'm not a mistake and that I am learning. I know that I attract loving people into my world, for they are a mirror of what I am. I love myself, therefore I forgive myself for everything. I forgive myself for my mistakes. I forgive and totally release the past and past experiences, and I now know I am free. I love myself, therefore I love totally in the now. I live in the now, I release the past, and I forgive myself and everyone. I love myself totally in the now, and I'm willing to experience each moment as good, and knowing that my future is bright and all is well, my future is secure and joyous, because I am a beloved child of the universe. I'm one with the universe. And this spirit, this universal love, takes care of me now and forevermore. And so it is. So we can come back to our lesson now. Usually when we immerse ourselves in some of those thoughts, it's like taking a soothing treatment, or you're going into a place where you're reminded yourself of the truth of who you are. Recently I did a talk, I discovered a song by India Ari, and I have a lot of songs that are really good for spiritual community. I've listened to many this week, probably 20 or 30, and the one that struck me like a dead ringer, meaning it was like so perfect for our message, was entitled I Am Light. And the artist sings it beautifully, of course, but as I was watching it, I was all caught up in her appearance and her delivery. And then I found the the same song with the script, which we played in our gathering recently, because as the words unfolded on the screen, it was perfect for the message that we were trying to convey to people on Sunday. If you were there, it was really wonderful. And if you weren't there, you can always go back and watch it on YouTube or Facebook. But a few of the lyrics from the song, I thought, well, certainly that will work and be good in our self-healing class. And I invite you all to go to YouTube and listen to India Ari sing it, because it's just gorgeous and perfect for people who are really wanting to step up their consciousness and learn to love themselves. So a few of the lyrics that are repeated often throughout this little 3-4 minute song are, I am light, I am light. And that will be stated over again like a chant, I am light. And then, I am not the things my family did. And I thought how perfect that is, because Louise Hay would ask us in our classes and our gatherings, when we all have all these things in our consciousness that say, I'm not good enough, I don't do enough, I'm not okay, I'm inadequate. And we grew up in families sometimes that were slightly dysfunctional. I think everybody had a little bit of that, but some more than others. And, maybe the way things that were acted out in your family were not wonderful. So this beautiful verse, I am not the things my family did. Say you grew up in a family where there was chaos and there might have been some abuse and neglect. All of us live in this teaching in a new moment. We're capable of being in a new moment. And we can release the need to be in any of those places, because we're not the things our family did. Each of us are individualizations of God life, and we have power to create a really wonderful life. And the next wonderful lyric was, I am not the voices in my head. And I laughed when I heard that, because over the past 30 years, I've heard people talk about what they call the committee. So you're living your life, and in everything you're trying to do the best you can, and there seems to be this chatter in your head, which is like which will say, oh, you're messed up, you screwed up, you're a mess, you're never going to succeed, this can't work, you're not working, and you're not good enough. And that song, that lyric is, I'm not the voices in my head. See, the thing about this teaching is you're really learning to love yourself. And part and parcel of learning to love yourself is just letting go of all that stuff which people call the committee, or the old days they'd call it the council of the wicked. Of course, we don't believe that there's any other power, any power for evil or anything like that. But we certainly have all this stuff in our head. So India Ari says, I'm not the voices that are in my head. That stuff is nonsense. And as you stay in this teaching, we're going to teach you how to handle that nonsense. And you will theatrically say, I release the need for this. In the old days, I'm talking probably 100 years ago, they would say to that type of thinking, the voices in our head, get behind me, Satan. Of course, we're New Thought, and we don't believe in devils and stuff like that. But I like the drama. Get behind me. Or, a British lady, Joyce, would always say, next, next, next. She'd always say next and cancel to the voices that were in her head that would tell her she's ugly or inept or not good enough, stupid, not attractive, not adequate. Any of that stuff, which we call affectionately BS, that's called bologna slices. Any of that stuff that says you're anything less than wonderful, it's got to go. Because you are light. You are the light of the light. You are one with the one. That's the best kept secret of the ages. That spirit in you, that God in you, it's the hope of your glory. Meaning, when you wake up to understand that you're one with this vision, this incredible force and power, that it lives in you, moves in you, and it has its dwelling in you, and you can use it. When you wake up to that, oh my God, what a day that is. It's a journey, they say, without a distance, meaning you have it within you and you always have. Thing is, most of the world has no clue of what lives inside of them. And the people who are looking for the good and the God are looking in the wrong places. They're looking for this love in all the wrong places. They'll go to the temples, they'll go to the cathedrals, they'll make novenas, they'll do vision quests. They'll look everywhere and anywhere, they'll look for a hero. You know, remember Tina Turner said, we don't need another hero. We don't need to go anywhere. It's not found in a church. The thing you're looking for is found right within you. Deep in the center of your being, as we started, is an infinite well of love. And it's yearning and wanting to express itself. You know, that inner guidance, I can't shut it up. Because, you know, when I'm screwing up, I know I'm screwing up, and it's just like you're part of your conscience. You just know. You have inner guidance. There is within you what's called an inner guidance system. When you begin to live this teaching and learn to love yourself more and more, you have that which is in you that guides you. One of my best teachers always said, there is that which is within you that knows. And it will show you the way. Always. If you listen. If you be still enough and long enough to know that you are source. If you be still and be quiet and meditate long enough to know you are it. You are the thing itself. But we look for it everywhere else. We'll make a boyfriend or a girlfriend or some latest prophet. The person who's going to save us, rescue us, deliver us. But the thing you're looking for, the great thing you're always looking for, the pearl of great price, is right here, living right here, deep in the center of your being, in your heart. And you can access it. When Jesus said the kingdom of God is at hand, that's exactly what he meant. And we say it every Sunday, we say it every Thursday. The good that you're looking for lives within you, operates through you, responds to you. I am light. I am light. India Arie said, I am not the pieces of the brokenness that are inside. I'm just not the pieces of the brokenness. Yeah, we've all made mistakes while we're learning, but again, as you hear us often say, we are not mistakes. Every single thing, mistake if you want to call it a mistake, in some way has contributed to being where you are right now. And my God, it was painful. I'm sure I can attest. I've had my version of it too. All of that, whatever it's been for you, the losses, the pain, have brought you to a place that's very unique in terms of the fact that you have wisdom, having lived through and gone through what you've gone through. So when you're thinking of your life and you're thinking of your story, remember that lyric, I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. Tell yourself, I am light. I am one with the one. I'm not the mistakes that I have made. And I'm not any of the things that caused me pain. I'm not the pieces of the dreams that I once had and I left behind. It's such a powerful sentiment. Okay, we've made mistakes while learning, right? But you're not that mistake. My God, I made so many mistakes. I could talk to you about it for hours. But if I did, because I've become healthy-minded, I will tell you everything I learned because of everything that I've been through. See, if you're learning to do that, you're learning to practice the teaching, and we talk about, you're learning about the truth, you're learning about developing positive expectancy. You're going to remember, we have an old saying here, there's got to be a pony in this mess somewhere. And all that really means, you've heard about this, the pony that's buried in a pile of manure. And the person who's got this consciousness, this healing consciousness, the person who's worked on healing their life, who understands Louise Hay, Ernest Holmes, Emerson, and the others, he or she is going to know that there's got to be some good in this pile of manure. There's got to be a pony in here somewhere. So we come here and we understand and we learn that we're one with the one, and that we can heal our life, that we can change our thinking. And as we change our thinking and lift up our consciousness, we will demonstrate good and more good. We will realize the kingdom is at hand. All the good that you're looking for is right around you. But we are like horses with blinders on. We just simply can't see it right now because we're stuck. If I were kind, the old days I say I'm stuck on stupid. Speaking of myself, because I'd like to say, gee, God, Greg, you know better. But I would get caught up in the story. And when I get caught up in the story, like something's wrong and someone's done me wrong, and if I get into any of that erroneous thinking that Wayne Dyer talked about, then I'm going to experience pain, I'm going to suffer, and this isn't the way of the world. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the teaching, said, suffering is not God ordained. Suffering's tied into our expectations. Suffering's tied into we want things to be a different way. When we enter into this teaching, we come to understand that we live in this perfect life, that we're one with this perfect life, and that it's within us. And if we turn to it, it's always there. If we ask ourselves questions such as, what's the most self-loving thing I can do right now regarding anything? And I promise you there's an answer for you. We always have this guidance. We don't always listen to it. But here I'm telling you, we can begin today to be in a new moment. We can begin today to live the affirmative life. We can begin today to understand I am light, I am light, I am light. India Arie went on to say, I'm not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I'm not my age. I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. I am the light. I am the light. And then beautifully, she said, I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am source. I am the source energy on the inside. You are a star. She said, I am a star. I am a piece of it all. I am light. Raymond Charles Barker, our founder, would say, you are the whole bit. You have everything within you, operating through you. And you can heal your life. So every Thursday we tune in for these powerful, powerful reminders of the truth of who you are, the power you possess. And we invite you to take your power back. We invite you not to make your life about other people, not make your happiness contingent upon what other people do. All power resides in you to heal your life. I'm reminded tonight, and I often am reminded at this point of a saying from another great book. It's really informed me through the past 20 years, which is this line, it takes great wisdom to understand that all events, circumstances, and happenings have been helpful. So yes, that does take a lot of wisdom. It requires us to get off the pity pot. It requires us to get out of the blame game. It requires us to stop doing counsel of the wicked and talking about people, places, and things that have happened. Or it requires us to step out of the idea of being a victim. And that line, it takes great wisdom, spiritual wisdom, understanding, to know that all events, happenings, and circumstances have been really very, very helpful to bring you to a place now where you understand who you are, that you are the light of the God, you are light of God, you're one with Source, and all power is yours. So this evening, I always turn over this lesson and I ask that wonderful question. And it's not for me, it's for you, and you don't have to answer for us. We ask the question, what has it been like this week being you? You know, we have the committee in our head, which I largely ignore most of the time these days, because I'm really working with his teaching. I've trained myself to live the affirmative life. When things come in that are negative, I find a way to say, cancel, cancel. I release the need to think this. Get behind me. You know, I'm not going to say Satan anymore, but get behind me. Cancel, cancel. Stop in the name of love. So I ask you that question tonight that I ask every single week. And you don't have to answer it. When we open up the cameras, it'd be great to just say, hey, I'm Verna, and I'm from Indianapolis. You know, you don't have to answer the question. You don't have to talk, but it's wonderful to hear you. Everybody they love hearing from as many people as share. So what's that conversation been like, is the question. With the most important person in the world, which is you. In your life, you've got to be the most important person. In your life, you want to be excited about you. We're encouraging everybody here to develop really big visions. Because what the mind can see and believe, it will achieve. When you develop a great vision, and you're loving yourself, and you're letting go of the nonsense, the sin, which stands for self-imposed nonsense, when you're doing that and you're being that person, I love myself the way I am, there's nothing I need to change, I'll always be the perfect me, there's nothing to rearrange. When you're doing that, watch out, you know. You can't lose, you know, I'll quote Reverend Ike now, you can't lose with the stuff we use. So pay attention to that conversation.